Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-8888-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. That is me, along with Barry the Boater and Mike the Mariner. Very special day here at the World of Boating because we are now legal. Yes, believe it or not, the World of Boating radio show has been on the air for 21 years. And we're going to celebrate accordingly because, yeah, we're legal. We can drink. We're not going to boat.
The show can actually buy a beer now.
That's right. For the first time ever. Wink,
younger,
wink.
right?
Yeah.
I didn't have gray hair.
Did you even, we don't know if you have hair now because you're always wearing some red watch cap there, Bear.
There's hair underneath there.
Is there?
I
We don't
just
want to
keep
see
my
it.
head warm.
Yeah, just stay covered up.
Thank you.
But yeah, 21 years ago today, actually it was April Fool's Day accordingly. And so we still got a couple days before the official anniversary. But today we're going to reflect a little bit on cruising, the latest boating news and information for 21 years straight. That's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Mhm.
Obviously, I started this show when I was 10, or was it 5? I don't know.
10 or 5.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
A very young entrepreneurial spirit.
You
Right.
were just about to retire, I think, at that time.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But before we get into all the festivities, we got to check in with someone who's been a part of the show for, almost the whole 21 years. I don't know. Do you even remember, Captain Rusty? When was the first time you were on the World of Boating? What do you think?
I do remember, and I think I can tell you.
Yeah.
But let's see. I know it was in January.
Okay.
And it's been somewhere around like 17 years. I do
All
remember that you were in a radio station with some financial guy.
Okay, that
Right?
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were doing a show in another studio. Now we have our own studios.
Mhm.
Just steps away from my bed. So I've
I know, right?
brought it
And
closer to
that
home.
studio had a really nice restaurant nearby, if I recall.
Did it? I don't-
Yeah, because it was in that whole area with all the other
Burger King,
buildings.
maybe? Is that the one you're talking about?
No,
Burger
not
King.
Burger
Yeah.
King.
Well, now
I
he's
don't
just
know.
got a kitchen and a bedroom and a
Yeah.
bath.
Well, I guess the big question is, Rusty, you remember that at least that much? Did the World of Boating radio show have a positive effect on your boating life, or one that you
No,
choose to block out?
If you remember the story, I was an avid listener.
Yeah.
And I was in the Coast Guard Auxiliary. And
That's
so
right.
my first episode on the show was to talk about Safe Boating Week as a Coast Guard Auxiliary
Aha.
person.
I do. I remember
And-
that now. Absolutely. He brought some class to this crew.
I
And,
know,
some-
I thought, well, somebody needs to be safe around here. So,
That's right.
I
Listen to these guys. They're nuts. They're out of their minds. And
so I was so excited when I
Yeah.
when I got to be on the show, and
yeah.
kind of continued on from there where I was being weekly. And then I went from the Coast Guard Auxiliary to Florida by Water,
Right.
to the Boat Florida place, to the boat dealership,
Yeah.
and just kind of continued to grow in the boating thing throughout the years. And you guys have been there for all of it.
Well, it is kind of interesting when you look at when you look at Captain Rusty's progress in the boating world, because you were just a listener to the show back in the day, and you reached out
Yeah.
and you were dabbling in boating, and next thing you know, you got your own dealership, you got a couple of them, and you've way eclipsed what we've done here for the rest of the crew. I mean, I speak for myself, Barry, and Mike, not really. He's done a lot, but me and Barry,
Yeah.
we've been like anchors here at the.
Like an
Somebody
anchor.
has to run the show.
Yeah, okay, that's right. But it's good to see successful folks like Captain Rusty do so well. I mean, you got Jacksonville Marine. There's more than one dealer, right? Or more than
Yeah,
one?
there's Jacksonville Marine, there's Blue Water Marine.
Right.
Both of those are in Jacksonville, separate brands.
Yeah.
And then there's Blue Water Marine in Daytona. and so all of them are doing good. I'm not as active in it as I was. I'm slowing down to do more things that I want to do these days.
Right.
But I'm still around.
Yeah.
So
Still,
it's been fun.
yeah. Well, now you're kicking back and enjoying the successes of the dealerships and things, and it gives you more time to go out and just boat for fun, right? Hopefully.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Have you been out
that's
on the
been
water
fun.
at all lately, or what have you been up to?
No,
No.
I'm actually between boats.
Ah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I know.
Again.
We had the Chris Craft, and
Mhm.
I sold it a few weeks ago because it seemed that we had gotten into the routine to where all we didn't really go boating. We drove the boat to the sandbar and stood in the water.
Yeah.
And if you took what the price of the Chris Craft was,
Yeah.
the amount of times that we drove it less than a mile to stand in the water, that was a pretty pricey trip. I
Huh.
could have took a helicopter cheaper.
Okay. Really.
So,
all right.
Right.
So yeah, so we're looking for a pontoon boat.
I was
now.
gonna
Actually,
say,
believe
it
or
sounds like
not.
he's going for
Yeah.
a little deck boat plan or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. What do you think,
Yeah.
Barry? Yeah.
I think that would be a great idea. And I have a feeling I've been reading about the popularity of those particular boats is really increasing. I think people are looking for a moderately priced boat that they could take a lot of their friends out on and just enjoy the day somewhere,
Mhm.
rafting up or just throwing out an anchor and fishing or enjoying a nice
But,
day
but,
out.
but wait a minute. We're talking about Captain Rusty here. He has all the money he needs. He can buy whatever the heck he wants. So what kind of
Right,
pontoon
but-
boat are you going to get there, Rusty? What do you think?
It will be it'll be moderate. It'll probably have a 300 on it.
All right.
23 foot. So tri-tunes. So sports type boat. So
Okay.
it'll be, I think it'll be nice. I'm going to get it to match my truck. So, but the price I'm a little concerned about. Here's my dilemma.
Yeah.
So if y'all have any advice, I'd appreciate it.
All right.
I can buy one right now and order it and, get it at a pretty good price. New boat seasons new model years coming up will be the 1st of July. So the boats are going to go up, and I'm a little concerned about the tariffs and what it's going
Yes.
to do to aluminum.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
what-
I don't know if I should buy now or wait and see what happens.
I
Well,
would.
Are they are they tariffing the raw material? But if it's built in America, I don't think it gets tariffed, right?
Well,
or is
it-
it just
yeah, it's kind of too
It's
early to
any-
know for sure at this point. But yeah, that's
Mhm.
What- any materials that come in that make up the boat, yes, they're going to put tariffs on it at this point until they become fully. I mean, there's already tariffs out there for certain materials. I think for aluminum and iron, but as far as everything else, it's supposed to become effective, I think, April 2nd. We'll see what happens.
yeah.
But that's the whole thing. And you can also look at used boats will probably go up in value because new boats, the costs of them are going to go up if this happens, which means that people are going to start looking, a 1-year-old boat versus a brand new boat. And
Mhm.
that may, affect manufacturing. We'll
Yeah,
see.
well, I think what Mike is talking about though is what the tariffs that just came out this week for the cars. So if 51% of the cars made in the U.S., no tariff, and the
Yeah.
same with parts and things like that. So I don't know how that applies to aluminum. I know steel was a thing, but was aluminum part of that stuff
Yes.
too? Yeah, I don't know.
It was.
Yeah,
So we'll
so
see.
Yeah.
yeah, you got to talk to the
I didn't mean to
manufacturer.
bring the
I think.
anniversary down.
Well, you're not bringing. No, this is a topic that we're going to have
Yeah,
to kind of
because you have
navigate
to-
through.
it's-
But I think it's a
Yeah.
little premature. We don't know for sure in that regard. But I'd say the uncertainty would be, well, hey, get your price locked in before there is any potential of a manufacturer kicking it up a notch on you. You think, Mike? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, Rusty, do you feel like you have to order a boat, or can you go find one that's in inventory? Because
He's got to order it. It has to match his truck. He said. Which
Yeah, what is that all
Yeah,
about?
well, how
What
does
do
it?
you-
How's
how
it going to
is it gonna
match? Color or what?
What color is this
Yeah,
truck?
the
It's not
color. It
chartreuse,
needs to
is
be.
it?
What does it need to be?
It needs to be white with a blackout package and black highlights on it. So my
Sweet.
truck's pearl white. So going down the road, I want to represent.
That's right.
Oh my God.
He's living large. He's a successful
gotta have
boat
the bling.
dealer owner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my
You got to
God.
show off what you got every now and then when you're up there in
Boat
age
bling.
like Captain Rusty.
Yeah.
More coming up on the World of Boating 21-year anniversary.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Happy anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
This is the World of Boating. Gregor First Mate, that's me, along with Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner, running out the crew. 21 years ago today, we started the World of Boating, and a lot has changed over the years, and a lot hasn't. But, I just popped into AI, and I just said, hey, write us a song about the World of Boating. What do you think it would come up with? And I don't know, kind of listen to this.
For the radio stream.
Not bad. Sounds good.
Your first mate fuels the dream.
Yeah, that's true.
Barry the boater with tales to unfold.
Right.
Mike the mariner's wisdom worth more than gold.
Okay.
Oh, the
not sure about that.
boating where stories are told.
Oh.
Anchored in laughter with hearts so bold.
All right.
Through waves of chatter, our ship takes flight. On a sea of voices every Saturday night.
Okay, well, I got most of the things right.
Yeah.
Because it's Saturday every afternoon at 2 o'clock. But,
well,
Hey,
there's
I was a
always a
good
chance.
songwriter.
yeah.
If people download the podcast, they probably listen to it at night when they're falling asleep and need something very.
Way to sell it, Barry. Way to sell it.
Yeah,
21
that or
years.
Gummies, one of the two, right?
That or gummies. Well, this
Okay.
is cheaper.
Fair enough.
So
But,
2004 is when it all started.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the AI, they've almost got us right after 21 years, but I think they're still working out a few bugs with that system. But that's actually a pretty good little ditty it came up with.
Yeah, it is.
Not sure what we'll do with that, but it is what it is.
I
So-
was
So
looking
it
at,
might, hey, you know what? We might have to go on a tour. I mean, this thing may hit the charts.
You
know,
think? It's that
you
you really
don't know.
liked it that much, did you? Okay.
Crazier things have happened.
Well,
you know?
hey, who would you know what? Let me just give you a little antidote. If you would have asked me 21 years ago when we did our first show that we'd still be doing it 21 years later, I would have laughed you out of the room. Yet here we are.
Yeah.
A glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
I don't I don't even know what to I don't know if that's a positive thing or a negative thing, but it's a thing. And we're still here,
is a
still,
thing.
and we still enjoy talking about boats and what's been going on with the boating world and that kind of thing. So I guess as long as we still enjoy doing it, we're going to keep doing it, whether you like it or not. And
Yeah, and we've had some really cool. I mean, the listeners are amazing, right? I mean, they reach out from time to time, and I remember, it was about 2 years ago, someone doing the loop that listens to the show on a regular basis knew where my boat was and happened to stop in and walked into the marina and said, "Hey, where's Mike the Mariner?"
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's creepy. I got a stalker. Oh no.
And then your friends that are doing the loop, I watch them on YouTube every week.
The Navigating Niggles.
Nitzels.
Navigating Nitzels, and
Nitzels, right?
Yeah, they're on their way, and
okay.
We'll have them on the show again, and I'm looking forward to that. And their trip is starting out very well, and they're really, really having the time of their lives. So I think it's really amazing.
We will have to catch up with them. I mean, just by the way, to kind of go back to what Captain Rusty mentioned in our first segment there, he was talking about the tariffs as whether or not he should order his boat. And he kind of brought up an interesting point. I mean, we don't really know how these tariffs are going to affect the economy, let alone the boating world, just yet. I mean, they're going to have an effect in some way, I'm sure, and we'll have to see how
they go into effect.
Well, right, and we're going to have to see what the effect is. But on the flip side of this, could it actually have a positive impact from people like Rusty? Like, well, crap, I better get it together and get this boat ordered. And lock in my price now.
At the end of the day, the tariffs aren't going to make that big of a difference for someone like Rusty. Just go get the boat.
Well, exactly. But if you want to, I mean, I would say there's a good chance it's not going to affect a boating price in a negative way. It's probably, if anything, if it does have an effect, it's going to make things a little more pricey. So if you are on the fence right now, I just wonder if there's more people like Rusty right now that may look at this situation and like, well, okay, I've been planning to get this boat. I better get it now before the potential of the prices going up kicks in, and maybe it'll have a little spark of activity in a positive sense. Barry, what do you think about that idea?
It could go another way too. If the prices of the boats go up and they don't move, then the manufacturers will have to do something to get them sold.
Well, true, but we don't. That's what. But that's the question mark that we don't know yet. That's what I'm saying.
We don't know yet because nothing's happened yet. But the fact that you keep talking about it is not good for the economy. It just makes more uncertainty, and then people don't make a decision.
Right, but would people possibly want to make a decision?
No, they may want to just hold their money in their pocket because they don't know what the future is going to be.
Well, or if they're thinking they want to get a boat anyway, would they be inclined to go ahead and pull the trigger now before any potential increase in price happens? That's what I'm saying. Like just like someone like Rusty. That's what I'm saying. If he's planning to get this boat regardless, he's in pretty good shape, I think.
So
and so why would you wait? You shouldn't wait because if anything, if you wait, the price could go up. It doesn't look like it's going to go down.
Now.
Right.
Yeah. There was one auto dealership down here that were talking about cars. They say anything they have on the lot now, the price isn't going to go up because it's already on the lot.
Yeah.
But anything they have to order in the future, if these tariffs kick in, which the automotive ones, they said they are going to kick in, the prices are going to have to go up because there's no way the dealers are going to eat that increase. There's no way the manufacturers are going to eat it.
Right.
Someone has to.
Yeah.
So, but here's something interesting because we were talking about 21 years. How many boats do you think were registered in the U.S. in 2004? Just a guess.
I have no idea. I'm going to say
I'll give you a
mil.
number. 12,781,476 boats were registered in the United States. That was in 2004.
Okay.
2025.
Yep.
Okay. Now, obviously, 2025 is not done yet, but AI estimates that there'll be 11.96 million registered boats.
So we went down in 21
actually
years.
It went down. But what's interesting is that there must be a group of people that just love boating so much, they're always going to have a boat.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm
But
sure.
it hasn't increased like it would maybe ownership of cars or houses or other things. That's an interesting market where there's plenty of room to grow if you can find the right boat, the right price combination to bring new boaters in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the other thing is some people that might have been more swayed to buy a new boat in the past, maybe they're going to look at a 1 or 2 year old or 3-year-old boat that's out there now, because the pre-owned boat market seems, I mean, there's a lot more inventory available these days than there were, 3 years ago during the pandemic. It was hard to buy a used boat because they'd go on the market and get sold the same day.
All right. Well, Barry the Boater needs to, we need a graph over those 21 years, because it sounds like we've had a negative impact on the boating industry as a whole doing this show.
No, I didn't.
I think Barry just got homework.
That's right. All right. Well, you have your mission if you choose to accept it there, Barry the Boater. We'll see if we can figure that one out, see if we can come up with some other excuse and not take all the blame. More coming up on the World of Boating 21-year anniversary edition.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
So, Pat, you always been a seaman? By that, I mean a sailor, not, sperm.
No, I got you. No, I haven't. But, since the virus hit, I said, Pat, what better excuse to buy a boat?
What? I'm boating. What? I'm boating. My schedule's all filled up, man. I'm boating.
This is the World of Boating 21-year anniversary edition. I am Greg, your co-pilot and first mate. I'm a co-pilot on Just Plain Radio, first mate on the World of Boating, and a dive master on Scuba Radio. Got 3 shows. Hard to keep them straight after 21 years, so you cut the old man some slack. Barry the Boater with us. Also, Mike the Mariner. And I don't know, Barry, you had your mission if you chose to accept it. Did you find an answer? Do we got a graph over those 21 years?
I'm looking. That's a tough one. There's all kinds of graphs out there. It's a matter of finding that specific one.
Right.
So this may take a couple of years.
Yeah, I was just hoping we could come up with some other excuses other than the World of Boating being.
Barry, are you done yet?
Yeah.
I'm not done yet.
Affect the declining
I didn't know
numbers.
he wanted me to do it right now.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I
UK small boat crossings. It's
that doesn't help.
Number of times someone looked up Greg Holt.
What are you doing, Barry?
3 times in the whole past 21 years. No one wants to look you up.
Okay.
3 times. Was it law enforcement that was doing this?
It might have been immigration. Who knows?
Actually, the statute of limitations has expired, so I'm good.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
Anyway, I guess we'll leave that for another day. But hopefully, the World of Boating radio show hasn't led to a decline in boating registrations in the U.S.
I don't think it's done that. But there is an interesting story that was in Trade Only.
Yeah.
And it had to do with, come on, reload.
Had to do with,
geez.
come on, reload.
It had to do with reloading. Yeah. No. Wow. 2 times it's not doing this. Anyhow,
Okay.
it had to do with people that in the last 4 years, withdrawal symptoms. Data shows a percentage of newcomers who quit boating within 4 years has worsened. I think the data that they're pulling from is the last 4 years. And if that's the case, it's hard to compare that to the last 10, 20, or 30 years.
Pre-COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because COVID was an anomaly.
Right.
Boats were selling like hotcakes. Manufacturers couldn't keep up with it. Used boats were selling for more than what people originally paid for it. Someone offered me more than what I paid for my boat. And then, of course, Greg said, "Don't sell it, don't sell it."
And you didn't.
So, and
See,
I
you
didn't.
still
Yeah.
have your zombie apocalypse
still have my-
escape capsule.
Right. It'll go about 45 miles, no, 60 miles before I run out of fuel.
See, that's what we need for the industry. Maybe is some other thing we can pitch. Like, okay, yeah, COVID really gave boating a jump because that was one of the few activities we were able to do. And maybe we twist it around and just say, okay, yeah, we're through that. And maybe you don't think you need your boat as much now because you got all these other options to, spend your time with. But you might want to hold on to that boat. I mean, when the zombie apocalypse comes and you need to escape to open water, and because zombies can't swim, obviously.
No, they walk under the water.
They
on
walk
the sea,
underwater.
on the
Yeah, but
seabed.
you just
I've seen
run
it
over
happen.
them.
Yeah. Oh, you've seen it happen.
Okay.
You watch way too much TV.
I was
But
on vacation.
but with rising seas, you may need a boat one day.
Okay, yeah,
You know,
Water
this
World.
could end up
play
being
that
like, well,
card.
it could end
Yeah.
up being like what is it in Italy?
Which what with the canals and
Italy?
stuff? or
In the
what do you mean?
canals, yeah. You know, where
Oh.
everyone uses a boat to get around.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
you
I
mean
mean,
in Venice.
In
Right.
Venice, yeah.
Yeah, I was
Maybe.
just there.
yeah. You saw a lot of boats then, huh?
I did. There
Yeah.
were boats everywhere.
People
No
have to have
cars.
boats, and I mean that's what you tell people. It's like, hey, don't sell your boat. You might need it sometime in the future. You never know
Did you
what's
know
going to happen.
Florida, Florida has the largest number of registered boats in the country?
Yes, I knew this.
We are number one.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
we've been that for many, many years, I believe, and if I remember correctly, there, Barry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, and also in the news this week, and this is really a Florida thing, is that our legislators have passed a law, or at least they all voted for it. We'll see if the governor signs it, that every boater in the state of Florida will now have to have a safe boating ticket license. Not just people
For
born
personal
after
watercraft.
1988, but not because it said anyone, I think, born after 1988 had to take the course. And then they got a little card. We all did it. I just did it for
Boy,
why
I
not?
barely missed it. I barely missed the deadline.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
So
never
old.
mind. I was
Oh,
born in
wait a minute.
60.
Yeah, there you go. You old man.
20. Oh, I've got a 20-year buffer zone. So.
But they are expecting that to pass, and they're going to expect everyone to take this. I think it was a 70 question exam, and if you pass it, you get a card.
And if you don't have the card and you don't take the exam, what happens?
Well,
Does
I
it
guess
say?
if they pull you over and they say who has the safe boating card, and they say I don't have it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it all comes back to there was a crash a year or two ago
Mhm.
where a young lady was killed. A lot of people were injured because the owner of the boat was not observing safe speeds around Boca Chica Key, which is an island by Elliott Key. And it's a lot of shallow area there.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he crashed into one of those solid markers that are standing still, not going anywhere.
Uh-huh.
So that's why they passed this new law.
Wait, they're saying that is why this law was
Yes.
put together?
Yep.
Because a boater
They
ran
named it
into a
Yeah,
buoy?
and killed a 17-year-old teenager.
Yeah. But I mean, do you have to take a quiz to know that you're not supposed to hit a buoy to operate?
Apparently, think about it. You get your driver's license, you do have to get that book and read it and pass your written exam and then go out there and
Yeah, but
pass your
but the way you
driving.
described the story, it
Yeah,
sounds
but-
like it's like okay, this guy drove his car into a wall, so we're gonna pass a law to make sure they.
Yeah.
Oh, that
yeah,
doesn't.
and that's
yeah.
usually how laws are. Some event that gets a lot of news happens like that.
Yeah.
And then if a legislator says, "Hey, I'm going to go sponsor or write some legislation," And that's how those things happen. I'm okay with a boater safety card. I mean, I see a lot of really weird things happen on the water, and I do believe that people. I mean, think about like a boat like mine is 40,000 pounds, but heck, a 26-foot boat is 9,000 pounds. You're moving around some pretty hefty equipment there, and I think you should be competent.
Yeah.
Well, I absolutely agree with that, but I just don't know what the best way to go about it is sometimes.
Well, it was a unanimous decision passed by the Florida legislature. It's called Lucy's Law. She was in a boat with 14 other passengers, and the driver of the boat was charged with careless boating, and she died because of it.
Yeah.
So what it will require is it says the bill has penalties for reckless boating, so they've increased the penalties. They said anyone found guilty of boating under the influence and fleeing the scene could face at least 4 years in prison. The bill requires out-of-state boaters or those who lived in Florida for less than 5 years to complete a boater safety course. But I believe it also said that all boaters must. So maybe it didn't. I'll have to look that up again. I'll have to read through it.
Yeah. I mean, all that stuff sounds like common sense. You stiffen up the penalties for reckless operation and things like that. Once again, I just kind of go back to, all right, you're going to set up some kind of new rule. You got to take a boating course. Okay, that's fine. But how do you enforce it? What are the penalties if you don't do it? That's where I think you start getting into some trouble with how you're going to regulate this kind of stuff.
Right.
What are the penalties? What are you going to just start giving tickets to boaters that didn't take the course?
Well,
I mean,
look at it this way. You're driving along the Intracoastal and FWC comes up and they decide they want to do an inspection of your boat.
I don't want that at all. They don't need to do that unless you're doing something illegal or you're acting a little out of the norm, and doing stuff you shouldn't. Then they pull you over. See, that's where it gets into that gray area. You hear what I'm saying? We're coming up.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. A boating enthusiast.
Oh, look at this. So much fun, you'll ship your pants.
You'll ship your pants, bro! We'll be singing and dancing. Singing and dancing. Singing and dancing. Singing and dancing. When that great, great ship comes in.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Barry the Boater. Mike the Mariner rounding out the crew on our 21-year anniversary show.
That was great.
What was so funny? What do you mean?
Watching you run.
I was like, hey, there's no pilot.
There's no pilot.
There's nobody in the seat.
Well, there's always someone at the helm. I had the show on autopilot.
Are we going to do the last segment?
I don't know.
I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea.
And I said to Mike, no one's going to hear us because he turns us off. We're in trouble.
No, we're fine.
Okay,
flawless operation. Yeah.
Let me clarify.
And I didn't go through any course to do this show. I didn't need some boating course, safe radio course.
Let me clarify one thing because I looked it up again. Okay, so the legislation as far as the safe boating card is concerned, it would only be required for boat operators who have not been a Florida resident for at least 5 years.
Okay,
and it'll be a boating safety card or an equivalent. So an equivalent could be if you already have a 6-pack license, or maybe you have a Power Squadron boating safety course, or a U.S. Power Squadron boating safety course, or the U.S. Coast Guard auxiliary boater safety course. What happened there, Mikey?
Well, I was going to say I am actually watching someone that could benefit from a boater safety course.
Oh no! Turn your camera around.
A boat literally just ran aground outside of my marina, and while you were talking, I was like, "Yeah, he's not in the right spot." And sure enough, boom, he's hard aground.
Oh boy!
So,
wait, what kind of boat are we talking here? How big?
It's about a 30-foot Sea Ray.
Oh,
can you turn your camera around? Or?
No, we don't want to embarrass them.
Oh, come on! The people that are on YouTube could watch.
He's backing off. He's backing off the bar right now, but he hit it pretty hard. He came to a screeching halt.
Well, that's what land does.
That gel coat's going to be scratched up. If he had a Triumph, it would have just bounced right off. It said, nothing.
Yeah.
Well, there's a channel marker right in front of him, and if he
Really?
understood how to read the channel marker,
There
he
you
would have
go.
been in the right spot.
Well,
That's right. So
He completely ignored it and went right onto the mud bank.
yeah.
Lucy's Law.
But was he not
HB
paying
289.
attention, or did he not know? We don't know. See, that's the problem I think you have with a lot of this kind of stuff.
Well, there's a channel marker right there that tells you exactly
Well,
where you should be.
well,
And,
exactly. But if
and
he
he went
wasn't,
on the wrong side of it.
yeah, you think he didn't know, or he just wasn't paying attention, though. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving him
Yeah, I
the
don't know.
benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I don't know, but he was able to back off the bar. He's on his way in now, but you know,
Greg is way too lenient. I'm giving him the
Yeah.
benefit of the doubt.
Well, no, he's backing off.
If
He
he
goes,
wasn't
"Oh, I
paying
meant to do
attention,
that."
That's no good. If he doesn't know what the marker means, that's
No.
no good. There is no good side to
Hey,
that.
how do you know he wasn't just trying to clean the barnacles off the bottom of his hull? Hey, here's a cheap way
he
and fast
achieved
way to
that,
do
I'm
it.
sure.
See,
I'm sure he did.
different
That's
strokes,
the
different
Greg
folks.
style.
Just saying.
Hey, there's a sandbar. I'm going to just run across it and
the
scrape
barnacles
all
and the gel
barnacles.
coat are all
yeah.
gone now.
See, and he's ready for a new,
A new
bottom job.
There
Right.
you go.
Yeah.
See,
Jinx.
yeah, you never know. I like to give people benefit of the doubt. I mean, a good boater is always learning, right? So if you're
Should, yes.
responsible, you should be doing whatever you can to make yourself a better boater day in and day out. And of course, there's people that don't do that. But I still kind of fall on the side of like you got to do that balance between, giving boaters the freedom to do what they want, and also not penalizing the people that are already doing the right thing. Like Barry, right before the break, you
Well,
mentioned.
that makes sense.
Well, yeah, but you mentioned before. Well, if Marine Patrol is out there and they're stopping people, checking their boat, did you do your boat safety course? I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, if
What
they
about,
stop you for a problem, like hey, you were creating a wake or you were speeding too fast to a really busy area, and it looked like you might be operating,
Okay. so let's-
recklessly. But that should not be like these, safety
so-
checks
so-
and things
so
like
let's-
that. That gets
okay,
into
so
busy
wait.
work.
Let's look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, during the break, mentioned that there was an accident up in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Okay. Did that boat is that the one that capsized and there were no life jackets, or it was at night?
Right.
and
That
they
that
had
is
no
it.
life
So
jackets
there
on?
were a myriad of things that were not attended to by the captain of that vessel. It
Right.
didn't have life jackets. He was not paying attention to where the boat was. He had 14 people on a 21-foot boat, I
Yeah.
think was the size of the boat. So there's a lot of things there that you can look at.
Throw the book
and
at
I
him.
don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what contributed to that accident, but you can just see the scenario in general and go, on a boat that size, would I have that many people on the boat?
Right.
No.
And that's something that FWC would look at and say, there's a lot of people on that boat. Let's see if he has all his life jackets. It would be negligent for FWC to just say, oh, there's a nice boat.
Well,
Let's just
that's
wave it
fine.
goodbye."
If it looks like they're doing something improper, that's when they pull them over.
Well,
but you kind of made the comment like, well, if Marine Patrol was out on the water and they're just
No,
doing
they don't
random.
have time to just pull people
safety-
over all day long.
Well, they do it
But-
sometimes.
Well, they do.
They
and-
do
well,
that.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I will tell you that the stop and inspect laws are very, very on the side of the Florida Marine Patrol. So they can pull you over just to do a safety inspection just because they want to.
Correct.
And to me, that's a bit of an overstep.
That's
because
what my
if
point
I'm-
was.
If I'm because I've been on the water and I've been stopped when I had other things to do. I was on my way to somewhere, we were going to dinner or whatever, or on our way, and then it takes 45 minutes for them to do the safety inspection,
Yeah.
and they're going to do everything right. And so now you're stopped. I had I've had a couple of those situations, and it's inconvenient. And so I'm not so sure that I'm for getting stopped because they want to inspect you. I
Yeah.
think just like in any other situation, there should be an observable
Like
an
probable
observable
cause of a problem.
probable cause
Yeah.
situation
Yeah.
where okay, I see 14 people on a boat and none of them have life jackets on.
Yeah.
Maybe I should check to see if they have life jackets.
Right.
But
Have you ever had, Mike, have you ever had your boat inspected by U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary where they look over, see if you have all your safety items, and they put a big
the voluntary safety
several
check.
times.
Yeah.
do you keep that
several
do
times
you
over
keep
the
that
years, yeah.
updated?
Whenever they, I mean,
You could call
I-
them and they'll send someone out.
Right.
right. But I mean, I I do the inspect. I mean, I have the Coast Guard equipment and everything on the boat, but
yeah. Well, what's your point with that, Barry? Where are you going?
Oh, the point is that when you put this big sticker on your windshield, I don't know if it's just something magical about it, or when you drive by and I see them out there on the Intracoastal, is that you look at them, they look at you, and then you just keep going. Then you'll see another boat go by, and you'll see them, check them out. So
Yeah.
I think what they're saying is that if you're a little proactive and you show with that sticker, with the updated, because they change the color every year, that you keep it updated, that they're going to tend to leave you alone if you look like you're safe boating and you've had an inspection already done.
Well, that makes sense. That may be the case.
And that is true. I have a friend that's a Florida Marine Patrol, and he says, yeah, when we see those stickers, we generally don't look at those boats.
But once again, I think it does go back to a balance, because that's why the whole idea of like boating license, which is not really what that law or bill that you're talking about is, but it's kind of moving in that direction. And the problem with that is, like, if they start pulling boaters over just to check to make sure they have their boating safety course complete, I mean, they're pulling boaters that are very responsible, and it's unnecessary. It's a waste of their time. It's a waste of the boaters that are doing it properly. Keep your eyes on the people that are not doing the right things, that are running their boat aground, or they're, have too many people. And it just, there's an obvious sign that there could be some improper activities going on here that they should put the kibosh on and focus on that, as opposed to just
kibosh.
Yeah,
kibosh.
It's a word.
I gotta go look that word up now.
It's up there. Check AI.
All right.
He knows, or she, or whatever it is. Owl.
Whatever it is.
Okay, on that disturbing note, we're going to wrap up our 21st year of broadcasting for the World of Boating. Hey, back at you guys. Let's go celebrate. Till next week, remember, whether it's sail or motor,
life is better as a motor.
Safe boating, everyone.
Barnacle-bitten swab. World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.